What defines a Pokemon game? What will Gen 10 look like? What's up, everyone? It's Dusty Go-Goat. Welcome back to my headcanon. I was having this conversation with a couple of friends, and we went down the rabbit hole of what the future of Pokemon is going to look like. But more precisely, what defines a modern Pokemon game? Pokemon games in the Switch era have really deviated from the traditional and predictable Pokemon formula. This was just like a main series game and then a remake that is built within the same engine as the current engine. In the last 5 years, we got 4 different Pokemon games, also a DLC, and all of these gave us wholly unique experiences for a Pokemon game, right? We got a Chibi remake. We got a very cartoony remake with a completely different catching style. And they also gutted the game of all of the main series mechanics. There were no eggs, there was no held items, no abilities. We got a traditional Pokemon game that was very heavy on battling. This was your standard Pokemon game, but again, it was highly criticized. I had fun with it, but that's beside the point. And then we got the most surprising game in 2022, Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is truly an action RPG. We're starting to see what Generation 9 is going to look like. It seems like it's actually going to have a lot of connective tissue to all of these other Switch titles. Every new generation builds upon the previous one, so you get a better and better product. But at what point does this stop? And how much more innovation can they really do? Generation 9 is going to be an open world. It's got really good graphics. It's got some action gameplay. There's a new feature called Let's Go, and there is also following Pokemon and overworld animations that was originally from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. At first, I really thought each of these games were going to serve the purpose of catering to a specific type of gamer. But now I'm not so sure of that. What I want to see in Generation 9 is a main series title, which is Scarlet and Violet, that really focuses on battle and your traditional Pokemon gameplay, right? That would be Scarlet and Violet. And then I would like a couple other extra games. I would want another Legends style game where it's more action oriented. There's a survival element to it. I want to feel like that game, what that gave me is like a real feeling of immersion. I felt like I was actually in the Pokemon universe, and you can't get that anywhere else, right? That's a gorgeous thing. I don't think that is what Scarlet and Violet is going to provide. If it does provide that, that's great. I don't know if that's actually what we're going to get, so I would want a whole new experience of, Legends, let's say Legends Johto. That's what I would want. And then I would also want this third style of game, whether it's Chibi or if it's actually just HD 2D pixel art. That's what I would want. With BDSP and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I think we're definitely headed, or it's more likely that we're going to get something that's a Chibi style video game. And that's how I see Generation 9 playing out over the next 4 years. Throwing some DLC for whatever game we get. That's all fine, right? But what is Gen 10 gonna look like? If Scarlet and Violet actually takes all of these elements from all these other games and puts them into the core series generation, right? And then we get DLC, so it's just a continuation of the same game file, right? If Gen 10 is that, but maybe a little crisper, it's a little cleaner, it's got a nicer polish, maybe a little smoother gameplay, they start fixing a couple things here and there. I don't want a realistic game. I don't want realism in Pokemon. The franchise has been changing so much, and I'm curious. Scarlet and Violet look really good. Here's the conversation I had with Soul Silver Art and Delumio's post.
This whole time I thought that they were going to make Gen 9 the mix. I thought they were going to put the classic Pokemon thing and then mix Legends style with it. That's what I was hearing in the community, whatever. But it seems that they were made alongside each other, without even really thinking about each other. Some little features made it in and not. But so that leaves Legends Arceus as maybe it was just a standalone one-shot game that they tried out, just like Let's Go.
Yeah.
But because it was so well received, now is what are they gonna do? Are they gonna make another Legends and keep going with that? That would make them more money. Let's just put it that way.
That would make me happy.
Yeah,
absolutely. but would it though? Because then we would continue with the classic way over here, and it's not as so for Gen 10, they wouldn't be mixing the two anymore. It would just be Gen 10 follows the classic stuff.
Gen 10 is this game, and we still get Legends on the side. I'm totally okay with that.
Me too. So what I keep going back to, dude, I I think I agree with you, Soul, that in a perfect world we would have, like, they should just make the best game possible, which would be Gen 10, which is this, but you can also play and interact with your Pokemon the same way as you do in Legends Arceus. But I'll tell you this, one of my best friends has been playing Pokemon as long as me, and he just does not like Legends Arceus. He's played through it. He didn't even play the post game. I said, keep playing past the credits because there's more. And he said, I don't like it. I'm done. I'm going to go back to this. Which is insane to me. But what he likes is
the
classic
he's really
Pokemon.
your friend?
I promise. Yeah, he's my best buddy. But like, it's crazy to me. But that's what he is. And I think they want to. I think they want to make the core Pokemon games like accessible, right? They gotta be like I think there was a meme going around like the lore of Pokemon is so grand, right? But like the gameplay is very not repetitive, but like very formulaic, and I think they're gonna keep the core series as an RPG because it's accessible to all ages.
Right. I definitely I can sympathize with your friend a lot. Like Pokemon Legends for me, I am very mixed on that game. I'm not like a lover of that game like everyone else is, but because I love the classic style. So that's why I'm like, just mix it together and make it perfect. But I do absolutely agree with what you're saying. It's just like it depends on what they do with the classic style because it still has to keep evolving as well. It can't just be like Pokemon Red and Blue until Gen 20, you know? And it once they put the Pokemon Legends catching into a main series game, then like what's really the difference? I mean, I guess what you said is true with like it being an RPG versus a like action RPG.
Yeah. On the crafting and all. Like it's more survivally.
Yeah.
I think the main difference in the long run, if they continue with Legends Arceus and make Legend style games, would be the art style, the crafting, the action aspects, but then mainly like the story and the setting. I think those are plenty. That's like plenty enough to make that game different from this. I think if we get Gen 10 and it's everything that we see in Scarlet and Violet, but then there's also that option where you can just you can aim and throw Pokeballs if you wanted to. I think, I feel like they could still do that, and Legends would still have its own style.
Because I will tell you a little thing that nobody knows, that there is some of that in Gen 9 in this game. There's some of that, like those elements of throwing the Pokeball at Pokemon and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so like people
that's
people
really
will be surprised about that. But it's not to the extent of Pokemon Legends. So I'm just thinking like this is what I think they will do, or they should do. They should do another Legends game this generation, like Johto.
Yeah,
and
Johto.
then Gen 10, maybe not like a full mix, but like add in a lot more elements from it. And then maybe even they make another Legends game after that, but then after like a third Legends game, they just mix them together and make like, because it's still got to keep progressing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just put them together and make like the perfect Pokemon game.
Well, I think if they do master, because I feel like a lot of the growing pains Pokemon has had is been just like adapting to like a modern gaming experience. That's where, and then it's like agonizing because it's been like 10 years and you're like, this should have been an easy step that you made in 2012, right?
Yeah.
I feel like once they reach that point, which is like, this could be it, or we're gonna get it in the DLC or in the sequel or in the Gen 10, whatever it might be. I think they can ride that out and they can maintain that because the Pokemon formula worked for 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just fine. And I still think the old formula still there's a huge, Pokemon has a massive ROM hack community because it's like people still want to play those classic 2D RPGs.
Yeah.
I think they just need to like perfect it, and then a lot of the progression is new Pokemon and new stories and graphics, right? But like, if you can just throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and catch it, and then the size variations are like there, and it doesn't take me out of the game, then like, what else do you want? I don't really care about the story of the game.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like a lot of that is already coming in with Gen 9. So like,
well, good. That's awesome.
It is already. Yeah, it's cool. It is already
That's
mixing
cool.
a lot. I know one thing that I just thought about with it and then we can move on to something else. But just the whole regional forms idea, like, so Legends had only regional forms and regional evolutions, I guess,
Yeah.
as new Pokemon and like as that feature for that game, and I love that for it. So like you don't have to make brand new Pokemon, but instead you just are updating them, and then in the main next generation game, like then you get a whole batch of new Pokemon, which is really, I think that's a good idea for them to differentiate them.
Yeah.
Because it does look like they're going away from it a little bit in the main series, which Legends is main series, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I think that is interesting, and it take less of. Yeah, that is cool, because it's also like it's a much better selling point, or it's a huge add-on for why you should buy a game, right?
Yeah.
Right, and it makes that new game feel like a new generation.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I do think that they're definitely going to plan on doing, and I think the plan from the beginning was to do more Legends games, and frankly, I think the plan from the beginning was to do more Let's Go games, because one, Junichi Masuda, like, he illustrated it, like, with Mario. He said, Mario has, like, the classic 2D style games, and then they have the things like Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey,
Yeah.
and they both coexist, and he was like, and that's kind of what we're wanting to do, but obviously, reception of Let's Go wasn't good, so I think they scrapped that. But you can tell with Let's Go.
No, that is a really good point.
Then they did BDSP. That's like another attempt at, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you look at Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, and you look at Legends Arceus, you can tell that Pokemon Let's Go is its own logo. And they just wrote like Pikachu and Eevee under it. And then Pokemon Legends is its own thing, and they like wrote Arceus under it. It looks like they've created its own brand that will have multiple entries in it. No different than how we have Pokemon Red, Pokemon Black,
And Zelda has done the same thing. There's 2D Zelda, there's 3D Zelda, and then now there's even like spin-offs where I forget what it's called, but it's like a Hyrule Warriors. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Like, that's an action game all to itself. And yeah, Mario's been doing that forever. I mean,
I'm all about it.
Mario's got about 60 different side series. I mean,
because it allows like these games to really focus on like what their strengths are, and you can cater to all these different people. If you guys like this style of video, hit the bell so you don't miss the next upload. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck hunting.